What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Quinn Wade Basketball Analysis coming to you with a quick video on the Minnesota Timberwolves. What to expect from this team. I like what they have did. They got a point guard that can not only score the basketball but run the offense, play off the ball, knock down threes, get out in transition, and set his teammates up. He's unselfish. He's a very patient point guard. He's not a superstar point guard. He's not a dominant offensive player, but he's a player that knows his role, play within the system, and don't have a problem playing off the ball. Jimmy Butler was a huge trade because they didn't really have to give up much for him compared that Jimmy Butler is still young. He's in his prime. He became a decent three-point shooter, 36%. He's not a bomber from three, but he showed potential that he can make them at a good enough clip to where you're satisfied and good enough to respect him, and it can allow him to get some dribble drives if they close out. Because Jimmy Butler, he's a clutch player, especially in the fourth quarter. He can hit you up a point, and he can make tough shots. And now that he can make contested and off-balance threes, people respect that to the point where he can beat them off the dribble and get to the paint or dump it off to Karl Anthony Towns for a mid-range three or a dunk or a layup. Same thing with Gorgie Dang. He can do things like that. And then you have the shooters with Jeff Teague, and Andrew Wiggins became a respectable, not great, but decent three-point shooter to the point where you have to guard him. And if he gets open, and we don't know how much they've been working on their game. All we know is that the trade has been made. We don't know what Andrew Wiggins really has been working on. We don't know if Jimmy Butler, like I said, he shot 36%. That's good, but he can actually be working on making three-point shot even better. So Andrew Wiggins can be doing the same thing, and Karl Anthony Towns became a respectable three-point shooter, but he's not an elite three-point shooter, but he's good enough for his size and his position. So this team has a lot of versatility. I played with them on 2K. They have Gorgie Dang. They have Taj Gibson that can play the four. He can play small ball five. He's a guy that reminds me a little bit of Serge Ibaka. He does the dirty work like rebounding. He hits the mid-range jumper. He sets the screens. He guards the post. He does all the little things that people don't really care about, but it matters inside of a team game and a team structure. And he feeds off other great players like Jimmy Butler, Andrew Wiggins, and Karl Anthony Towns. He's going to be a beneficiary of playing with them because he can get the easy buckets, the floaters, the jump shots, and the dunks, and the layups, and the decent amount of free throws that he's going to make teams pay for not paying attention to him and keeping a body on him. He's going to get a lot of easy buckets. And then Andrew Wiggins is only 22 years old, and the guy has already averaged over 20 points. His defense is not as good as I thought it would be. Is lackluster. Same with Karl Anthony Towns, but that's something they can continue to improve, and that's something that Tom Thibodeau going to really focus on as long as he's the coach, is making his team not only a contender, not only a great team to play, but a team that focuses on playing hard on both ends of the court, playing with a lot of effort and energy, and on top of that, they're going to have to be great rotating and defensive team, and he's going to put different schemes to make sure he can work to the strength of his players and have a game plan against every team and a chance for them to execute a good defensive scheme. Now that he has a decent point guard and a lockdown defender, maybe the professionalism of Jeff Teague and the defensiveness of Jimmy Butler, because Jimmy Butler and Andrew Wiggins is damn near the same size. Jimmy Butler is 6'7", Andrew Wiggins is 6'8", so Jimmy Butler can teach Andrew Wiggins how to play better defense, how to play harder, and what to do and what not to do against certain players when they game planning and watching footage. Jimmy Butler and Jeff Teague can help do that for this young team as they go against better teams and as they become a better team in the future, because a lot of these players are signed to long-term deals. So I like that they can go big with Karl Anthony Towns and Gorgie. I like that they can go a little small with Karl at the 5, or put Taj Gibson at the 4 and Karl at the 5, or they can even use other players like Shabazz Muhammad and go big and bulky. They also got Brandon Rushes, who's a knockdown, well, a decent three-point shooter. They can play him. I just don't like their bench enough. I think they needed to strengthen their bench, even though they got players like Taj Gibson in Jamal Crawford, a guy that adds shoot into the team and breakdown ability. He can break down defenses and knock down tough shots. He's instant offense. He can get a shot off damn near anytime he wants to, and he's a ball handler. He's another guy that can take the pressure off Tyus Jones, take the pressure off Jimmy Butler, take the pressure off Jeff Teague, and let them play off the ball. Or if they go on the bench, you have another player that can play make. If you can't find good enough offense, your offense stagnate, he can hit the last second shots. He can hit the shot clock when it's dropping down. He can make tough shots, and he can also set other people up because he can handle the ball, and he's an unselfish player. Even though he takes a lot of shots, that's what you're paying him the money for, is for him to be an offensive factor from the bench. So I like it. I like the team. I feel like they're going to be a 40-win team. Everybody predicted the Timberwolves to be a great team last year. Everybody expected the Timberwolves to be a dark horse last year. They still was a horrible defensive team. They still was a stagnated offensive team. Sometimes they'll get hot and then they'll blow big leads. Sometimes they can get fourth quarter leads, but they couldn't hold on to them because they couldn't score or they couldn't play enough defense to where they can close out the game. That's something that Jimmy Butler, Jeff Teague will bring to the team because they know how to execute, they know how to knock down tough shots, and they know how to run and trust the offense enough. And that's that veteran leadership. And Jeff Teague has went to the Eastern Conference Finals, and so has Jimmy Butler, so they know how to win and they know how to teach because they're still young players. They're not old. Jimmy Butler only 27 to be exact, and Jeff Teague is only in his early 30s. So they can still be young, and they can still rub off on a young team like this, and they can still teach them how to win at the same time because they played in the finals in a conference. So I like the roster. I honestly think they're going to be a 45, 48 win team at the max. If they do, like, if everything go right, no injuries, I think they can win 45 to 48 games. I do think they have first round exit because I still don't trust their defense. They still has to improve their bench, and I don't really like their bench at all because they don't really have enough scoring and they don't really have depth. They only can go 6 or 7 deep. That might be enough to win in the regular season because you're going to play the other people like 4, 5, 7, 10 minutes at the max. It might be good enough to win, but in the playoffs, it's going to really hurt not having depth because you only can really go to what Taj and Jamal Crawford, and everybody else will be damn near unplayable because they can't really score or create their own shot. So once they get a better bench and once they can replace Jeff Teague with a better point guard, they will be on their rise to be a champion. This team is still 4 or 5 years away from being a championship contender. Maybe 3, depending. I like Jimmy Butler, I like Andrew Will, I like Carlton Towns. Maybe if they develop even more, maybe they're 2, 3 years away. But this team can be a point guard and a bench away from being a contender. And you know, Golden State will only get older and they still will be young because Andrew and Carlton Towns are not even 25 or 23 yet. So I like the roster. But I think they lose in the first round. I think they win 45 to 48 games. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. It's Quinn Wade, Basketball Analysis, signing out. And check out my website, analysisplayground.com. It'll be in the description, and it will be in the comment section below. Another thing, check out my Facebook page, analysisplayground.com. That will be in the description, and the links will be in the comment section below. All you got to do is click the link. It'll send you to my Facebook page. Once you like it, that just means that you show support of the channel and of the website, and that's all I'm asking. Quinn Wade, Basketball Analysis, signing out. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below about the video and about the Minnesota Timberwolves.